Guys, we started off losing another game last week, so we were scrambling to get the next game in place. We were talking with different teams, and Baylor came up in conversation. We spoke with those guys. We spoke with a promoter from a tournament that tried to get us both in there together, and the decision was made late Wednesday night to go to Vegas and play. And we practiced here at Thanksgiving Day and had Thanksgiving dinner afterwards at 4:30, and got up the next morning and took off. We had to take two separate flights to get there. The team was divided, and we got in late. It took all day to get there. Had a practice and got ready for scouting report. Got up the next morning and had breakfast at 8, shot at 9, and COVID tested at 10, and I played Baylor, a really good basketball team, at 5, and not the opener that you would like to have, but we were just excited to play, and it was something that we took a lot of positives from. Playing a team with a preseason Big 12 Player of the Year and Jared Butler, first team preseason All-American. Two guards that were in the draft this past year and chose to come back. They've got a really good basketball team and strong in the backcourt, and they proved it. And they shot the ball extremely well against us. And the most threes they'd made since their season opener last year against Central Arkansas, I believe, where they made 18. And they turned around and did it again the next night against Washington and beat those guys 86-52. So being able to score 82 points against those guys in a high possession game was encouraging. And we know that defensively we made a lot of mistakes, and hopefully we'll be able to correct those and get ready for our next game against UNO on Wednesday.
Looked like Akuba just fit right in. What was your assessment of his play?
I've been asked several times about Theo and Brian, and they both did exactly what we thought they would do as far as stepping in and being a major contributor. Now, Theo's not going to shoot 9 of 9 every night, but he is very capable of scoring and averaging a double-double. And I thought he was the best big on the floor, and he's done it every day in practice, he and Brian, so there was no surprise that they came out and did it during the game. I was excited that Theo was able to hit the first three-pointer in number 10's history. Maybe Bo Lamar giving us that jersey had something to do with his outstanding offensive performance.
So, Coach, when you play in a great team, like you said, just like elite players, is it hard to evaluate? Obviously, like you said, you made some mistakes on defense, but it may be a long time before you play anybody who's that good. So how do you evaluate where you are on defense after playing a team like that?
Well, I don't think we'll play a team as good as Baylor the rest of the way, Kevin, unless it's in the NCAA tournament at some point, because they are legit. They were 26-4 last year and had a chance to be in the Final Four, if not for the tournament being canceled at the last minute. So it is hard to gauge, but again, we became better by playing this game, and it's not the ideal opener that you would like to have. It was a very tough travel, but it was a good experience for our guys, and one that we think can help us improve and get ready for conference play.
So how's it looking on your next two? Is it just wait and see if you're going to be able to get those in, and especially the home game? Is there some concern there?
No, there's not on our end. We're scheduling. Hopefully we'll have a game Saturday. Hopefully we'll have one next Tuesday. And we're on the phone. We get requests. We were on the phone all day Saturday while we were in Vegas working on future scheduling.
Coach, when will you know about if you're going to have a game Saturday or not?
Excuse me?
When will you know if you're going to be able to squeeze in a game Saturday?
Well, we've got it scheduled right now, and you just keep an eye on Matt. Will be sending something out here pretty soon this week. But we're excited about the opportunity to play and able to pick up another game.
Now, Coach, did you think at one point that you were going to be able to get a second game in Vegas on Sunday, and what happened with that?
We were. There was a lot of discussion going into that, and at one time they wanted us to play to play Washington after Baylor, and that game would take place on Monday, and we couldn't do that because we needed to get back. and those two teams chose to play back-to-back, or Baylor did. But we have a game with UNO on Wednesday. UNO tried to move their game to Thursday to help us, and they weren't able to do that. And it worked out. It was better for us to come home and just play the single game. But we were in talks right before we tipped against Baylor. We were presented with something that wasn't in our best interest, and we chose to come home.
Coach, what about UNO as you prepare for that game? How do you guys match up with those guys?
UNO opened up at BYU. They had a game canceled at Utah. They played at the Marriott Center and against a really good BYU team. And then they stopped on the way back yesterday afternoon and played at Texas A&M. And they've got a good group back. They're going to play extremely hard. They're physical. They've got several undersized post players at 6'6" that are really good. They've got experienced guards in the backcourt. And we'll get a great game from them. We always do. And another game that will help prepare us for conference.
What about, Coach, your guys who didn't play on Saturday? What's the update on those?
Well, we had left the three guys at home that have been on the IR for quite some time that you're aware of. And we found out after a good practice on Monday and Wednesday, we found out that Jacoby Gordon had an issue with one of his legs, and we sent him to the doctor, and he's right now he's in a boot. I said leg, more of an ankle foot, and hopefully we'll get him back, but he wasn't able to go on the trip. And that was a problem for us because we feel he's in our top 8. So it's 3 of our top 8 that didn't make that trip. So, and then we got out there, and Mike Thomas has some plantar fasciitis in his foot, and that just popped up on Tuesday as well. So just as we're getting ready to play, we learned that we're going to be down a couple of guys.
Is the one with Jacoby related to that Achilles, or is that different than?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to the doctor yet about it. And BJ has met with the doctor, but I've not had a chance to speak with him today. We just text about other things.
So, Coach, were there any other kind of impressions, good or bad, areas, man, we really got to work on this? Or, man, beside, you mentioned Brayon and Theo, but anybody else or any other part of the game that stuck out in your mind?
We shot the ball okay. We didn't shoot it from 3 the way we wanted to. We were 2 for 10 to start. The second half, we got off to a poor start. They really played well. They had 2 great runs in the first half, one of 10, one of 15 points. We called timeout during the 15-point run and tried to set something up and get a bucket. And we actually turned the ball over. They hit a 3. So that's kind of the way it went in that game. But we can shoot the ball better. We certainly can defend better. We didn't do a good job defensively. We weren't disciplined the way we needed to be. Baylor's got a great team too, guys. To get 82 points against those guys is impressive. They beat Washington yesterday 86-52.
One more.
How did the walk-on Garnett, did he look like he belonged? And were those minutes partly because Mike was out, or might he end up being a rotation guy eventually?
Well, it's too early to say. I mean, he played. We only played 8 guys, so we needed another guy to rotate in with Mike being out. And but Kentrell's done well. He, just like Mike, both have played and deserve an opportunity. And he didn't hit a shot. He's certainly very capable. And I told the coaches I felt like he could have hit a couple of shots in that game like he does in practice. So he'll still get another opportunity.